Hello there, very good day to all of you, and welcome to yet another brand new episode of I Am, featuring a top business individual, entrepreneurs, and of course, people who have made their way through thick and thin and gravel their way up the ladder in terms of work and also in the professional career. So, today we'll be spending a couple of minutes with yet another very intellectual individual, I would call it, who have joined the show I Am. It's an honor to have you with us. None other than, of course, the Chief Human Resources Officer of Demo PLC, Dilrukshi Kurukulasuriya. How are you today?
I'm very good, and it's an honor to be here.
That's great. So this is, of course, the couple of minutes that we spend with our viewers, also with a very meaningful conversation in telling them about your life story, your ups and downs, the positive vibes, the negative vibes in terms of your professional career, and finally also giving them a good message as to how you made it up the ladder in terms of work, in terms of an individual, and in terms of everything. Let's put it that way. To start off with, I would like to ask you, Dilrukshi, how has it been? How did this individual actually enter into the industry?
Okay, actually, I came a bit late to the industry and even to work, even to study, because with my parents being absent from home, I had to take the responsibility of 5 siblings when I was like 20 years. And that kind of delayed my studies and also corporate journey. But I will not change a thing. That was the real learning in my life. That few years which I spent, took responsibility, that really defined me.
Well, at a very young age, you said taking care of 5 siblings. I think that itself must have, like you said, groomed you up to be who you are today in terms of responsibility and taking authority. How has that whole journey been?
Very much, because I'm the big sister for 5 siblings, so I never wanted to fall. Like, at very younger age, I had to take responsibility. It is not that I had to earn for them, but I had to take responsibility of the household. And actually, when my youngest sibling was just 6 years, and I had to admit her to school when I was 20 years. So that is what gave me this confidence, empowerment in my life, and I am very happy about it.
I'm sure you're very content as well in terms of all you have done for your siblings and also taking up some motherly role, I would say, in terms of in very small ages of your life as well. Do you think all of this was something that helped you, differentiate yourself today with the business tycoons in the industry? How has that worked?
Definitely, dealing with 6 siblings, and it's not just 6 siblings, they are friends, many, the teachers, the many things like what mother would deal with. So I dealt with that at a very young age. uh, when I was doing it, I was not really doing it with awareness. I did what I had to do. But when I turn back, I see, all the learning, more than what I have learned from any professional course. Of course, those have helped. My school has helped me a lot, because I had a excellent school career, being a head prefect, right? There. So my theme in life is like responsibility. So I never wanted to fail. I never wanted to fail my siblings. I never wanted to fail my parents. So that actually gave me a lot of confidence, and made what I am today.
Of course, what made you who you are is definitely the roots where it all began. In terms of your career, did you think that, well, one day in life I would end up here? Did you have that kind of a goal, a vision which you work towards in setting up, saying that, Dilrukshi would be here at the age of 25, Dilrukshi would be here at the age of 30? How did the goal setting go for you?
So So definitely, right? None of it really slowed me down. I had a bit of a fear, like, to be honest. And while I was dealing with household matters, like, I was a good student. I was a star in school, right? I do not hesitate to say that.
When
So
you
when
mean stars, what kind of a
in a
thing
good
adds
way,
up?
like, I was a good student.
Mm-hmm.
I was an all-rounder, because if you see, I was on the stage, like, for drama or whatever, like, you have these houses in school, right? So I would do anything to get our house ahead. So you can imagine,
That
right?
go get a character.
As a student, like, I was so energetic. And then I was a good student too. And I was appointed the head prefect unanimously.
Mhm.
So I'm very proud about it. I'm doing all of that. So, yes, so none of this actually slowed me down, because I knew where I wanted to be,
Hmm.
right? I wanted to be someone. Uh, I am not very sure whether I have uh, used my full potential, because sometimes, like, I tend to do everything. I want to become the best version, but sometimes, like, I lose that balance, like, but yes, I had a goal to become someone, and I'm still in that journey.
You're still in the search of the true potential, the full potential of the individual Dilrukshi. Am I right?
Well, no, I'm very much aware of
Hmm.
who I am.
Okay.
I think that is what makes me a happy individual. What I meant was, my journey is not over, right? I have aspirations. So this is not where I finally want to be. I mean, I have aspirations.
Of course.
And of course, I'll get there.
You'll definitely get there, and we wish you all the very best for that as well. In terms of career, we shift to a little bit of making our viewers understand in terms of your career. Well, 20 plus years. We'll put it in corporate terms. They're 19 plus in terms of the HR profession, which you've been a towering figure in the industry. How has that been throughout the journey? 20 plus years is not an easy term or a task. You must have met different individuals, going back and forth in terms of meeting bosses. How has all that been?
20 years. I never felt that 20 years going by, because so every day, every year is, I look forward to it. I'm not trying to be very optimistic individual, but this is who I am, right? So I never get bored. Uh, Pretty much self-driven. I have been blessed with blessed to have good people around me who make me want to work. So from the beginning, actually, even my bosses, my colleagues, I really enjoyed working with them. So I pretty much do what I have to do at that moment. Uh, like, I'm, even though I think I'm messy, I have a system in my madness and messiness. So, and I do not want anyone to tell me what to do. So I always want to be ahead of you know anybody in my area. So I have never felt 20 years went by, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow with the same enthusiasm as I have been for 20 years.
Some lovely words indeed coming out from you as well. I would also like to ask you, Dilrukshi, now, in terms of HR, it's all about handling people, managing people, because end of the day, like they say, you need to make, client is king. But to make the client king and to make the client happy, you need to make sure that your employees within the organization are all kept happy. How do you deal with people? You must be getting, like, we'll say, from the lower levels when you started up, top, as in the bottom to top. your journey must have been about complaints, people coming up to you and saying, ma'am, I can't do this, it's not easy, I'm having a problem with this employee. How do you manage people? For I'm sure a lot of HR professionals are also watching us right now. What's that term you would give them, managing people? This is how you do it.
Well, managing people is a art and a science. So you need to know, in order to apply, you need to know the science, right? So you need to know the basics. And human resources is not just about people, of course, it is about business, whatever we do in a corporate is about the business. But of course, through whom? It is through people. So the only way how we connect people is through the purpose, I believe.
Yeah.
The purpose, values, the kind of behavior we expect, and be fair and exercise equality. So and be honest. Sometimes you do not have answers for everything when you do deal with people. So one of the most important ingredient for a human resources professional is to be credible. So I think once you lose that, you're not anywhere there in the profession. So it is very important that you maintain your credibility. You have your competence to handle things. That is what I actually meant as science. So so I never I always try to connect people with the purpose and what is required, and it is not been very difficult to handle situations. Of course, there had been difficult situations, but
one such situation to recall, would it be right to ask you?
Well, yes, okay, sometimes if you ask me as a professional, the most recent one was we had to take certain difficult decisions with COVID and certain regulations. So of course we had to take certain strategic decisions in the organization, which I had to communicate to employees, which I did with, my heart sank, but I cannot be emotional. I'm a very sensitive and emotional person, but in the context I cannot be, because in at certain times you have to work within a certain framework. So even within that, if you be very honest, you do justice to people, I think a lot of good things will come by that.
I'm sure, because it's of course to do with your professional life mixed up with a lot of emotions as well, because after all you're dealing with people, just like you and I. Well, I would also like to ask you touched upon the term of COVID. The world over has been struck and hit by this term COVID. The global pandemic is affecting all of us. Well, people management is a key role in terms of the global pandemic made a big shift in people's life. Work from home came into play, and like you said, some maybe even lost their jobs. How did you manage this whole COVID situation, and how are you still managing it?
Well, we all had to face a new normal. So within that, I think more than any other day, humanity came to the forefront. So we understood, or we were reminded that more than anything, human lives are important. So this is the premise that we worked on during COVID. Still it is continuing and up to date. So more than anything else, we look after well-being of our employees, because we know anything else is not permanent.
Nothing is permanent indeed. Why do your employees say "Power Woman" with a $1 million smile? What's the story behind this tagline?
I really don't know, because I think in the biggest crisis I can smile,
Mm-hmm.
and actually I can even smile or laugh while I'm crying.
Really?
So, yeah.
So it would be even hard for us to understand whether what kind of an emotion is Dilrukshi in. Is that right?
Well, no. I am very, very, very transparent with
Mm-hmm.
my emotions, to be honest. I wouldn't hide, or I wouldn't pretend.
Mm.
But I mean, while I am sad, still, if there's something is funny or humorous,
Mm.
I can still laugh.
From your professional life, quickly delving through into your personal life, how do you manage work life? Is there stress involved? How does stress management work for you? Let's also quickly tell our audience about this. Because before this session, what you told me was that Dilrukshi's morning starts at 4:30 or 4 o'clock. Yes, let's talk about that as well.
Okay, to be honest, I have never felt stress. I mean, like, dealing with certain situations, yes, like, I need to handle that, like, anybody would have. But because of work or anything else, like, I have not been in stress. Like, for a moment,
Hmm.
I will be like, anyone will be, you know, under stress to get it done. So the moment I'm done with it, I'm okay, right? So work-life balance is not that you have similar time spent on work and your life. Like, work is part of your life. But what I would do is I would live it to the best when I have. When I'm with my family, with my friends, and I try to be my best version in every situation. So that is how I handle it.
That's how you handle the situation. Well, of course, I think there is a lot of good energy, good vibes which flow from you. I'm even sure the audience watching us right now may be feeling the same, because you come with a bag of, that vibrant energy, which is, of course, a
Oh,
positive
thank
note
you.
in terms of dealing with people. Finally, I think it was a really great session and great to have you on the show as well. Finally, if you would like to give out a message to the young and upcoming individuals in your same profession or else in any profession, what would that simple advice be? Because I'm sure you have failed, you have also succeeded in life. What's that one advice you would like to give?
Okay, what I would tell the young people is that, there are a lot of perceived norms, and we try to work within these norms. I mean, these are good and some are bad also. Like, I think what I'm talking about is this unconscious biases, and also stereotyping. So now I was just having a conversation with a colleague of mine in office. Uh, well, I would not conform to these norms today. Why? Because when I think deep, I am empowered. uh, it took a while, right? When pretty much what happens is, when you're young, you don't want to be seen as a misfit to the society. So you give up most of your dreams and what you want to do. But sometimes with times and empowerment, you will change. But you don't wait until then. you know Empower yourself now itself. Do what you like. Be your best version today.
Be your best version today, indeed. I think this conversation was great because it was a bag of knowledge which you put out there, and you were also individual who has been recognized globally in terms of the work you do, and also within the top professional and career women also you received an award. Well, does the award define, or how does it work? What defines you? Finally, I would like to ask you that.
Not at all. Those are like, things happen by the way. So you do not work for an award or for recognition. You just follow what you're passionate of. So in this journey, like, you're recognized, you're awarded, those are good things, because that, of course, anybody would need some encouragement, like, self drive alone may not enough sometimes. So these are good things that I really, really appreciate. But definitely, I do not work towards achieving awards or recognition only.
Indeed, some really lovely words coming out today from you. Honored to have you on the show of I Am, and I'm sure everyone watching us also must have got a good insight about the guest today, and also some great advice, especially in terms of HR and the professional field and how you manage work-life balance. It is not half-half, but it is how you work it through. Well, with that, it's time for us to wrap things here at I Am. This brand new episode comes to an end with some great conversation with a very vibrant, energetic individual with us today. I think watching us right now, you must have got the same level of energy and a lot of positivity as well in terms of your profession, work-life balance, and all of it put together. So a big thank you from all of us to you for taking time off and joining with us on this special segment of I Am. It will wrap things up for today.
Thank you so much, Joel, for having me. Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure.
It's an honor to be here.
Likewise. We end things with a fist bump. Thank you very much. So celebrate life, live life to the fullest. We'll see you again next time with yet another inspiring and eye-opening story and individual. Stay safe and stay tuned with us for more. Thank you.